What's up, everyone? I'm the Kajino Kami with...
I'm Cruellica Kain.
And...
Silverquill.
And we are going to talk about our thoughts on the first episode of Kirameiger. We just watched it. It was raw, though, so if we get some information wrong, oops, our bad, but we're going based on what we understood from the raw, which wasn't that hard to follow for the most part.
We got a raw deal.
So, what did you think of the first episode?
How do I want to put this?
Oh, a ringing endorsement.
Was it Kiramazing?
No, actually, I'm trying to think of how I wanted to best explain it. It wasn't, like, bad or anything. No, I actually enjoyed it for what it was worth.
That doesn't sound like a ringing endorsement either.
Oh my god! I don't know Japanese fluently! So for what it was worth, it was raw. I guess I understood the basics of it.
It wasn't hard to understand.
You know, I should point out
I
that...
enjoyed it! Okay, fine. I enjoyed it.
You know,
There!
before we saw Kirameiger, we watched a video with a super nihilist. I think... I think Cruellica picked up some of the traits.
I was trying to figure out the most possible way to say it.
The brightness and happiness assaults my eyes.
It was just
Okay, well, let me ask you. As a woman,
Oh, God.
because you love jewelry, as they say, Toei said, all girls love jewelry. Did this series bring a whole new outlook onto the franchise?
I guess there's one important question I should ask first. Am I wearing any jewelry?
Well, right now, no. But yesterday you were.
Oh, I guess glasses could be considered jewelry. Ooh, that means Silverquill's been blinging out for years.
Well, he's also got one of those things on his wrist, so he's blinging that out too.
Oh, this isn't jewelry. This is selling your soul.
To Apple.
Yes.
Okay. As a woman that the show wasn't technically marketed to because it's usually for children, I would say no, it did not speak to me directly. However,
But it has sparkles in it.
Can you turn to that direction?
Hi.
Likes sparkles.
Oh, sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
But nevertheless, it seemed, the one thing I did appreciate is it does seem like the Pink Ranger is the eldest of the team. So I'm hoping that means because you're having a female elder, so to speak. Wow, that makes her seem like
She's going to be the leader.
Well, even if she's not technically the leader, because we've had this argument with Maju Ranger because of Green, she can at least be that source of knowledge and calmness that you usually get when you have one of the Rangers older. Because unfortunately, she's not going to be the source of punnery as you got within Kyoger, when you had the Blue Ranger who was the uncle who lived on puns.
No, son?
No, son.
My spirit animal.
For me, I actually felt like a mid-2000s premiere. It wasn't great, but I didn't go, oh my god, I hate this already. It felt very rushed, though. It was pretty much like a normal premiere where they just want to rush all the product out to you right away.
Well, how are they going to convince you to buy stuff?
Yeah, so apparently this tall.
Okay, what did you think?
I have said goodbye to the series of pastel ponies living in a colorful, bright world. So how is it that my eyeballs continue to be assailed by sparkles? Is this my lot in life? I hang out with goths. This is very much a polar shift for me.
Well, okay, so the introduction of the episode is with the master guy. Well, actually, no. The introduction of the episode is where you see the tentacle monster attacking closer to the
Hide your schoolgirls. Wait, there are schoolgirls in this.
Yes, there are, and he got pretty darn close, and it decided to
It's spitting out dirty
blow
water.
its load on the ground.
Wow, who's getting Freudian now?
With ink. Well, and I did like the fact that when it spewed the ink, kind of like what a squid would do.
It turned into minions.
It turned into minions, so it kind of made me feel like putties from. So you kind of had that feel like that the monsters created something because the putties were created in weird fashion as well. So that was kind of nice. And then you had the school where one of our main characters is drawing in his notebook, oblivious to all the mayhem going on.
As all the school's being evacuated.
Yes, it kind of reminded me of Evangelion. I was like, oh, it's like Shinji.
Honestly, I just think a lot. That's how kids go through school most days. You could set off a nuke, and they wouldn't look up from like their tablet or something.
Well, yeah, no.
But I like the kid.
I do, except for Kirameiger.
Okay.
It's not.
It's the new Yoshalaki. Too much of a good thing. Once per episode is good, like at a critical moment. But this kid's having inspiration every 5 seconds.
I did like the scene.
He's an idiot savant.
I did like the scene after he goes to the jewel and gets his henshin device, and he blatantly ignores the fact he can transform, so he can draw all the Rangers as they are fighting. And like when Green starts asking, like, "Who are you? Oh, gotta protect you." And then he goes under, was it Blue? And Blue throws him across the way.
It kind of reminded me of Guy from Gokaiger, that fanboy. Just like so sparkly-eyed at seeing something new.
Everything is sparkly in this.
Well, yeah.
Well, I did like also, so when they all untransform, and he's like, "Oh, you're the doctor, you're the movie star, you're the track runner who has a scratch thing from Geki Ranger. Who are you?" He's like, "What? What do you mean, who am I? I'm the esports.
I'm a YouTuber!
I'm the esports player."
Okay, esports has been rather fascinating to watch unfold because you still have to be fit and active because you want to be photogenic, but you're playing a video game. So
Well,
to call it a sport, I think a lot of the track and field runners, the football players, the soccer, they'd all maybe take some umbrage with that.
So are you saying the esports people are the equivalent to human gears?
Oh dear, I thought they were robots. Don't know. I don't know. Human gears are usually pretty likable.
I do find it fascinating with esports, just because this is an important thing, because it is demonstrating a different type of skill and different type of celebrity. Because esport is now an acknowledged sport because ESPN plays it, and I'm not saying that means it's a true sport, but I don't know enough about it to be able to comment.
I do know one thing because I've talked to people who are also esports figures. You have until about the age of 30. After that, you're out of the spotlight.
But that's actually with any sport. You have a presumed life expectancy with it. The only difference between esports and possibly, because I believe NBA, you can do that you could do that immediately after graduating high school, whereas with football and things like that, you have to be a little bit older, closer to 20.
But usually by 40, your career's done.
Well, yeah.
Which means any chance I would ever have of esports is long gone, and Cruellica's got 2 years.
2 years? I'm only 28.
Yeah, 2 years until you're 30. Until you're 30.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah, I'm trying to give you a compliment. Stop fighting.
But, so, not to really go down that rabbit hole.
We did.
But
Let's just say she was born the same year as Denjimon. In fact, one episode of Denjimon aired on her birthday.
This is my whispering voice!
But what I was trying to say, you asshole.
Abuse on camera. Everyone's going to see that. You have now abused me.
Oh.
You are now Amber Heard. That's Johnny Depp's wife.
Oh, that's her name! Then who's Evan
So-
I don't know.
As we've heard.
But never, and that's terrible. I am not a
Anyway,
user.
get back to the point.
Okay. I've completely... Oh, the genie! The lady, the blue... She's technically considered like a genie or something.
That's a genie?
Apparently for...
Are you talking about the alien from
Yes!
Crystallar? Crystalis?
Crystalia.
But she didn't grant any wishes or appear out of a lamp, and if I rub her, I'll probably get a restraining order.
Oh my god!
But anyway, yeah, her plant was taken over. She came to Earth, gave the people the Kirameiger powers. I did like how none of them had mechs until the Red Ranger dreamed them all up, basically.
I don't know if it's a dream, if he's awake.
Well,
Daydream. Although, I feel Green got shafted because he basically gave her his old car.
Well, that was the interesting thing though, because when the original toy catalog just showed a picture, it was of a red race car, and then when the actual toy catalogs came out showing the whole set, the red race car was suddenly a green race car, and everyone's like, "Oh, wait, what?"
So maybe they did that as a nod to the fact that they were still in that planning stage when they put out the initial.
Well, honestly,
toy catalog.
I fully expect that he will continue to dream up new vehicles for each crystal, thereby providing a variety of add-ons and, basically take Japanese parents, hold them by their ankles, turn them upside down, and shake them until those walls fall.
Well, that's kind
Shake
of
'em
what Kyoto did.
Hey, that's what Zero One's been doing when Izu can just create any new device for Aruto to use right out of her ass. But anyway,
It'd be funny if that's where they actually ejected from.
No, it's from a satellite.
but I did like though, he's creating all these vehicles and then he gives Yellow a shovel. And Yellow's like,
An excavator, yeah.
a shovel? What the hell?
Well,
But the actual yellow gems seem pretty happy.
I think the other thing I liked about the gems is I was afraid, based on the trailer, and obviously TBD because we really don't know, they didn't seem as annoying as they could have. Because the first episode of Go Onger, they were...
Just the first episode?
Well, no. All I got through were the first 2 episodes. And even those 2 episodes, they were so just in your face, just obnoxious. When Ranger, because I know Ranger had the talking dinosaurs. I think Ranger had...
They didn't have talking animals.
Who was the other one that we watched that had talking?
Well, you had the Buddy Roids with Go Busters.
Kill the rabbit.
I was like, wait, don't we...
And then Tiramigo.
Okay, so on the scale of hating talking mechs, I have to admit, Go Busters.
Well, they're technically not
weren't-
talking mechs, they're talking crystals.
Okay, talking items that the Rangers use.
If you can't see where the mouth is, we've got a problem.
Well, they shake. That's how you know they're talking. Wait, okay.
Actually, how do you know that they're not talking out of their asses and those are crystals farting? Well, the shaking is just the
Stop
gastro.
laughing at me.
All the shaking is just the gastrointestinal
I
distress.
should have done that because that doesn't look as bad. Freudian. We I'm
plumbed
just gonna drink my water.
we plumbed the depths of repression here. Anyway,
Oh, the monster! The monster of the week. It had a spigot.
yes.
I don't understand why it didn't have a spigot and it didn't have a sprocket. I want a sprocket.
I did like when the yellow mech turns the thing the wrong way and green goes off on him. It's like, you turned it the wrong way. So then she has to drive up and knock into it on the other direction to turn it back off.
Considering that the mechs don't have like mobile arms or anything, they did make it a pretty action-filled fight until they introduced the combiner next time.
I also did like a lot of the camera work in this. Like that one shot when the blue throws red across and it goes into red's viewpoint. That was cool, as was the camera when blue jumped off the building and the camera like zoomed in and went shh.
Well, Blue is filling the role of Bomba last season, the cool asshole guy.
Well,
You want me because I don't care.
Well, typically that usually is either the blue or the black, but usually you don't have the same colors in the same series.
Usually
so
it's
you offset.
Usually it's blue if you have a Green Ranger instead of a Black Ranger.
Mm-hmm. But like with Rio Soldier, you had both the blue and the black, so they had to split the personalities because usually the green can either be the smart one or the obnoxious brat.
Or just there.
The youngin.
In Rio Soldier's
No, that's
case.
usually, for me, that's usually the yellow. Now, I do...
Yeah.
Because the yellow, if you think about the tropes For Tokus, or for Sentai specifically, not Tokusatsu, just for Sentai, red can have a very large cavalcade of different personalities. It is very, very odd there. For pink, you either have two separate personalities. You have the damsel in distress or the very strong female.
No, you have the leader or the fan service.
Well, yes. You very rarely have it where it can be a combo of both. For blue, you have the asshole, or the rival, or the smart one.
Or sometimes the meek one.
Depending what other colors there are.
Yeah, depending on the other colors. Very rarely are you going to have the blue be meek.
Then you have the punster 30-year-old who is my spirit animal.
Which, he was a rarity of blues.
That's because they gave black the...
cool, aloof guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, they did. Yeah. It's really weird when they play those out. Because in this series, we now have yellow playing the typical trope of a yellow, which is that either the obnoxious or bratty, if you have the other colors filling a different role.
Well, yeah, because red's the youngest, so they can't make yellow be the youngest.
No, and then yellow, or not green, I mean green. Green females are very hard to decipher because it's a relatively newer choice to have a female green.
Mm.
Because I think this is only the second female green, correct? Of
Chameleon green.
Yeah, chameleon green.
Kyranger.
Kyranger. No, it was blue. It was blue and white in Zyuohger, wasn't it?
And Zyuohger.
Yeah, because the
Yes.
Green Ranger was a guy, right?
Yeah, green was a guy. Because green was the elephant.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's right. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure...
Because unless you consider melee a green.
Unless you go with the...
I consider melee close range
side
combat.
story Go Busters thing that we never watched, then yeah, it would be... The first full-length green would have been Q Ranger.
Because melee, yes, she had a green costume, but since she was more of the villain side of the class, that's why I don't think she counts as a green
It's
ranger.
hard to say, because sometimes Toei counts Leo and Melee as the Green and Black Rangers of Geki Ranger.
Oh.
Although, talking about this, I suddenly realized that this premiere was back to a pretty standard formula, and it was after, I think, sort of highs and lows with the last views. They're trying to say, here's a very familiar setup. Alien race was dominated by the villains, so you know that they're a legitimate threat.
Mm-hmm.
Lone survivor comes and gives the power to a bunch of young, attractive, looks good even when he gets beat up. I'm so jealous. Type heroes, and they fight. That's a pretty tried and true Sentai starting point.
I do have a concern, though, with the red. Because...
Only one?
Well, there's plenty. I think anybody can nitpick a million concerns. However, my biggest concern right now is kind of like an argument that we've had multiple times about Rio Soldier.
He's going to become the Godfather, or the Godmod?
Well, if you put it on the Kyoruger side of things, then potentially. Because I know that, even though I love Kyoruger, that's your complaint about Daigo. Is he's, between the two of you, that's both of your complaints about Daigo.
He's a Mary Sue.
I love the series, and Daigo is one of my favorite characters along with Non-Sun. No-Sun. But I fear kind of like with 01, because I know I've made this comment multiple times, is that Izu gets him what he needs without too much effort. Yes, he's struggling more now than he did early on in the series. I'm hoping that Red matures, but doesn't always have this immediate inspiration and because essentially his inspirations are almost like wishes. If you think of the Genie motif, every time he is inspired by something and draws it, his wish comes true.
But he's already used more than 3 wishes. Hacks! I call hacks!
So that's my biggest concern, is that he's going to continuously continually be able to wish the extent of what needs to be accomplished for the series.
Well, a variety of vehicle forms that you have to buy the toys. Perhaps that's the reason for the reduced size. They want to produce more in mass, so you have to go with the smaller figures.
no, it's actually because they lowered the tier that Sentai's on.
Yeah?
So they're less budget, less expectations, less focus.
But sometimes less expectations is not always a bad thing.
So, in other words, the most abundant tiers right now are the Sentai fans.
Depends.
I was gonna say, I'm happy with Sentai.
Well, apparently that pun did
Or not. I exist, therefore I am. There. That's the smartest thing I can say right now.
So...
That's not even the right quote. I think the way you got that wrong caused physical pain to philosophers across the world. They all just doubled over and were like, oh!
What are you talking about? This is going on the internet. Everyone's a philosopher on the internet.
It's true. But then the actual ones who were philosophers for more than 10 minutes. Just like,
I thought it was I exist, therefore I am.
I think, therefore I am.
Oh, god damn it!
In your case, you curse, therefore you are.
Well.
Anyway. So...
Let's focus
Would you watch the next one?
No, I'm right.
No, let's keep focusing on her wrongness.
Would you watch the next episode?
Well, first I want to see this subbed.
So you'd be willing to watch this again subbed?
Yes, so I know what's going on.
It wasn't hard to know what was going on.
I just got a proverbial, and I hope I'm saying the right word, quote wrong.
Alright, just stop talking.
No, wait, proverbial isn't even the right word.
Stop talking. Just stop. Would you continue watching the show at this... based on the first episode, would you watch some more episodes?
Yes, definitely. Especially to see, 1, the combined mech, 2, to see my prediction of multi-transformations for each gem. Because they established that in the first episode. So how many vehicles are they going to swap around on the main mech? Are we going to and at least, unlike Pato Ranger versus Lupin Ranger, there's not two teams that swap around. There's not two teams where one receives all the upgrades and the other gets Jack Squad.
I now thought of a song. I want to hear Randy Newman's Cars.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. It's the only way to bling in cars.
This isn't Pixar's world. Okay.
Better than the Disney movie.
So yeah, right now I didn't hate the first episode like I anticipated. Like I said, thought it felt like a mid-2000s episode rather than a current modern Sentai episode, which is kind of weird to say because 2000s is still modern, but you know what I mean.
Now we're in the teens now. No, we're in the 20s.
No, technically we're in the last year of the teens.
There was no year 0. Your argument is invalid.
That's what I'm saying. There was no year 0.
Yeah, so let it go.
So decades go 1 to 10.
Make like the Crystalline Princess. Oh my God! And let it go. Wait, there we go. I commission you, Internet, to take this weird genie with no mobile facial features and have her sing "Let It Go."
You mean with maxi pads on her head?
I refuse to talk to either.
Well, that's what you said. You said it looks like maxi
I refuse
pads.
to talk to you either.
And the father looked like he was wearing an ice cream scoop.
Because apparently, I don't know what I'm saying or what I'm thinking or what I'm doing.
Now I know what happened to her father. The giant villain, the final boss, reached down, plucked him up, and started scooping up the planet's core with his crap.
Like pistachio
as you can see with the villains, they were surrounding water, probably melted ice cream.
Oh yeah, I really don't envy the suit actors having to walk around in sloshing water. As if water doesn't do anything else.
Okay, the villain who actually has an actual human face part was cool to see.
I like how you call it a human face part. He has half a mask.
It's a human face part because you can actually see his a legitimate mouth.
Technically, he has a jaw. Let's just say he has a jaw.
I don't care.
What do you mean by legitimate mouth.
Be-
Are you saying that he possibly have a fake mouth that still moves like a natural mouth?
Well,
Because every Sentai villain in the last few years has been nothing but a fucking suit.
Okay, so Rico, what were you gonna say? I'm afraid.
Well, the princess technically has a mouth, but it doesn't move. So it's more of a line. I imagine she has more of a line on the other side as well.
I say you've just crossed said line.
Well, you can always blow your horn at it. I've gotten him to facepalm. It's a good night.
With that said,
Good night.
good night, everyone.